I told you so many times that you can watch TV only after you have finished your homework, my wife said to our youngest child. I don't understand why you're so quiet. After all, it's your boy too, shifting her irritation toward me. And what should I say? I answered, quite confused. That he's wasting his time, she continued, before I had a chance to figure out how to deal with her unhappiness. Well, doesn't every man have the right to relax after a busy day? I mustered quite innocently. I think you find too many excuses for him. She turned to me, obviously upset. And I think you're exaggerating with so many rules. The difference between us is that you want a perfect child, while I want a child who is smart and ready to face the good and evil in life. When at last we turned toward where our son had been sitting, we found just a scribbled note. Looking at my wife, I realized that it was time to think of a common strategy. As a starting point, it's important to answer a question. In a healthy couple relationship, are there any behaviors that may lead to detrimental behavior in their children as they grow up? Unfortunately, yes, there are. I'd like to share some of the most common ones, but also some of the least known. First of all, cultivate healthy attachment. If you want to have a child who is kind and polite, you need to demonstrate such behaviors toward one another. We're not talking just about having good manners or etiquette here, but about being tender, cuddly, and responding gently. Don't forget, nothing can give your child a greater sense of security than the assurance that his or her parents love each other. Secondly, lack of positive appreciation. It seems as if modern society, with its focus on individual rights, is making everyone, including our children, very critical towards objects and individuals. If you want a respectful child, remember, your child will learn to appreciate the value of a human being when she sees and hears her own parents expressing what they value and appreciate in each other, even the most common, natural things in each other's life. Thirdly, lack of consistency in values. By about the age of 6, your child is quite capable of thinking logically. And, by the way, he has learned mainly from what he sees. The problem is that far too often, even in the same context, what he hears and what he sees don't always agree with each other, and that is very confusing to your child. That's why you need to decide what are your core values and live by them consistently. And lastly, but most important, lack of agreement. Too often, parents don't realize how important it is to agree on their parenting style. At times, one corrects them while the other condones what he does. Or one disciplines him and the other excuses misbehavior. And very often, one of the parents acts by expressing verbally his or her disapproval of the other parent, which undermines the other parent's authority. These conflicting actions have a major destructive effect on both the couple, but also the child. He will feel free to ignore their requirements and disobey. So whenever you realize that you or your spouse have different opinions on a specific situation, postpone the corrective action. Talk privately with your spouse, not while your child is present. Establish a common approach, a common understanding, and then communicate it to your child and follow through with consistency. Don't forget, by loving and respecting your spouse, you love your child. And together, you can demonstrate how evil must have limits, while good is unlimited. For after all, it is your responsibility and your efforts will be rewarded. If you have a question that wasn't addressed, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell below. See you next time.